Welcome to this special back-to-school edition of MindShare TV, where we shine a spotlight on Canada's most innovative education technology startups. I'm your host, Robert Martellacci, coming to you live from the MindShare Learning Media studios at the MindShare Workspace in Air Mills Town Centre in the great city of Mississauga. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by a rising star in the Canadian EdTech ecosystem, Aman Sahota, co-founder of Factors and a past winner of the Canadian EdTech Dragon's Den Startup Challenge. This is a particularly exciting episode because Aman will be joining us as a valued partner at the upcoming Canadian EdTech AI Summit, hosted in partnership with the University of Toronto, Mississauga, his alma mater. Real full circle moment and homecoming of sorts. And we're also partnered with the Peel District School Board. And we'll dive into what makes Factors such a game changer for students and educators alike. Here's what's new, what's for school this year, and give you a sneak peek of what's in store for the summit. A little bit about, thank you for joining me, Aman.
Thanks, Robert. Super honored to be here. Super grateful to be participating in the EdTech Summit. Peel alumni, U of T alumni. So again, full circle moment.
Right, absolutely. Serendipity for sure. I love the story, and a little bit about Aman is, as I said, the co-founder of Factors Education. They are focused on helping admin measure durable skills, which are so important today in the age of AI, related to your portrait of a graduate, competency-based, and helping educators relate curriculum standards to durable skills and student interests. And that's all done through AI agents. Fascinating. A graduate of U of T, as I mentioned, Aman blends a deep understanding of education, mental health, and a data-driven technology. Under his leadership, Factors earned national recognition as the winner of the Dragon's Den Startup Challenge, along with his co-founder, Henry, who is always, he's behind the scenes doing the coding, and sure we'll see him at the summit. Today, Aman continues to shape the future of learning through innovative AI-driven tools focused on equity, mental wellness, and academic success. Wow, what a journey it's been. What inspired you to co-found Factors, and how did your experience at U of T Mississauga shape that vision, Aman?
Yeah, so again, thanks, Robert, for having me. Originally, when I was doing my undergrad, I studied a lot of sustainability. Met a lot of mentors during COVID-19. I felt like COVID-19 was kind of a pivotal growing moment for me. Since we were all at home and under lockdown, I took the opportunity to learn a lot, chat with a bunch of people. And I realized that the way to get to sustainability is through education. That's the only way you can make sustainable change, which ties in really well, I think, with the conference theme as well. So another full circle moment. And realized one of the biggest things you need to be able to do when making sustainable change is have a lot of empathy, and then be able to measure empathy in a meaningful way. So I had a lot of bumps and bruises throughout the journey, but just continue to learn, continue to grow from others, and just kept. I think we always talk about having a growth mindset, trying to have a growth mindset throughout the whole process, and landed to really focus on competency-based education, which we feel like is the future of education. It's no longer about understanding, memorization, and regurgitating things. Yeah, I can all do all those things, but it's being able to critically think, communicate, collaborate, work with others, make good decisions. It's a whole host of things that make us human and things that AI can't do, but we can work alongside AI really well if we have those skills.
Well said. And something you talked about struck a chord around, learning bumps and bruises along the way, and listening. Listening skills is a startup. You have a vision of where you want to go, and where you started some 5 years ago is very different today and what the company looks like, because you paid attention to the market. Perhaps you can offer some advice to other fledgling edtech startups who are going down this path.
100%. I think one of my biggest pieces of advice is being able to talk to people is probably the best thing. But then when you're talking and you're getting some feedback, you don't want to take that as like negative feedback. You want to critically think and actually take that. But then also at the same time, not all advice is good advice as well at the same time. Right now, we're in the era where information is steadily available as well. And you can kind of research and do a lot of things that you couldn't do when we first started the organization, which just kind of shows you the rate of pace that technology is changing at. So I would just say do as much research as you can, talk to as many people as you can. And especially here in Canada, we have a lot of great Canadian government programs as well. Try leveraging those as much as possible as well.
Thank you for that. Great advice. Factors has grown significantly since winning the Dragon's Den Startup Challenge. What's new and exciting for back to school 2025? Everyone's always looking for some inspiration, and in an AI inspired world, the train has left the station. It's not going away. One of the greatest challenges that we see, and we had our C21 AI Task Force Summer Institute last week, and school districts are grappling with how to integrate. And you study sustainability. Sustainability is a huge challenge when it comes to integrating AI. Over to you.
In terms of like the newest updates, I think for us is this year we're taking a really research-backed approach. So we're working on a research project with the University of Toronto, looking at how AI can impact academic performance through personalization. A piece of that is developing learner profiles for students. This essentially looks at their different learning styles, their demographic, their ethnicity, the resources they have access to, and then informing the AI on how essentially can create personalized resources and lessons for students. That's super exciting on that end. We actually won the tools competition, came top 3 out of 450 organizations. It was an international competition, and there's a lot of post-secondary institutes. So being able to leverage our MyTax work and research and developing that was super cool, because that learner profile we create will be open source and the benchmark for K-12 education, which is super exciting. In terms of implementing AI sustainably, you really want to be able to focus on getting your stakeholders on board, ensuring that you have the proper training, implementation, and then the feedback sessions as well. You don't want to leave people just with the tool and technology. You want to have an iterative process while working on implementing your AI tools. So again, just listen to stakeholders, authentically engaging people, and then making sure that people feel their voices are heard or they're not going to adopt tools as well. And obviously having a plan and strategy around it as well.
Fascinating. And you were part of the Siakam startup at TMU. That must have been pretty interesting to be. I know basketball is a passion of yours. We were talking off air. Congratulations. You just won a summer league championship. It's so important to balance, isn't it? I do it through hockey and other activities. And Siakam embraces EdTech, which is really an interesting side gig for him, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. So that was a partnership with his foundation, PS43. They also run the Data Dunkers program with Dell,
Right.
with Katina and those folks as well. And they've been really interested, and DMZ was super interested in kind of advancing the EdTech space as well. And just through like mutual friends, I know that Siakam always had like a passion for trying to develop education and going that route as well. So that was super cool. We got to get some feedback from an Indiana STEM school, Toronto Catholic District School Board, and had a lot of people from Google that gave us some mentorship as well, which is it was great.
Fantastic. And I'm a proud graduate of the Catholic District School Board as well as the TDSB. So great connections there. Your platform focuses on student wellness and performance. How does Factors leverage AI to support both teachers and students in meaningful ways?
100%. One of the things that we're really focused on is personalization. And this is done through kind of different AI agents. So just to give everyone a reference, when ChatGPT came out, like it would just kind of regurgitate a response. Now AI has the ability to use different tools, be able to assess its own responses, and really come up with better and more comprehensive answers. So what we essentially developed was a set of different AI agents with different tasks. One is for teachers to help them develop personalized resources. based upon another agent that will be an interviewer for a student that will be able to develop a learner profile. And another tool that we developed is essentially an assessment tool that will take the learner profile, personalize the assessment to your competence, to your curriculum standard, and then also be able to measure durable skills. Throughout
Brilliant.
this process, what we learned was that the biggest and most challenging piece for educators is actually differentiation. You have students that are different lexile levels or reading levels. They have different accessibility needs. They have different hobbies, habits, and interests. So how can you make curriculum that aligns with the standard and actually make sure it's personalized, differentiated, which we saw as the biggest challenge. So I would say, like, in terms of helping teachers with wellness and their burnout, it's really just trying to tackle the most challenging problems that they see in the classroom, which is the personalization and differentiation piece.
And what's the response been like? What is it going to take to implement sustainably? Because you studied sustainability from a budgetary perspective as well as from an integration perspective, where there's upskilling, teacher upskilling, right? That's required, as well as student upskilling, isn't there?
100%. Yeah. So in terms of budgetary need, there's actually a lot of legislative shift happening towards competency-based education, whether it's called workforce development, whether it's called portrait to graduate. Portrait to graduate has about 17 states that have mandated it in their legislation. New York is actually the latest one, and I
Cool.
actually talked about this last year when I was with you at NICE, talking to a CTE principal who I know really well. Um, but what they're essentially doing now, instead of just graduating with academic performance, you need to have a portfolio showing you're a good critical thinker, you're a good communicator, you're culturally literate across content, and some different other factors as well that, like, obviously state by state it was different, but it's really actually being legislatively mandated, it's being budgeted for as well. And if you look at New York, from 2025 to 2029, they're spending a couple of $1 million in actually implementing this. Now, there's a lot of challenges in implementing this, which is why they have a 4-year
Mhm.
plan. But with the power of AI, we believe that you can do it in a much quicker timeline with a lot of savings as well.
Absolutely. And through our organization, our not-for-profit C21 Canada, we have the 7Cs. So perhaps there's a new initiative we can launch through our, task force. There's been a lot of discussion around sustainability and some of the challenges. And I think it's very timely for us to think of a version of the portrait of a graduate that has been jargon used in the US. And CT, I'm a big fan of skilled trades, career tech education. CTE is the acronym that I love, that really captures more elegantly what encompasses skilled trades. And, my brother-in-law is in aerospace engineering. You know, it's not captured in, what I mean? It's requires post-secondary, as do many of the skilled trades do, but there's a stigma, I think, attached to, with parents particularly and students, uh, going into skilled trades. CTE, I think, as the U.S. Uh, more commonly uses that term, is something that I'm looking to integrate more and more in Canada. Does that make any sense, or thoughts?
Yeah, I think CTE is one big thing. I think the other personal passion for me is also like the development of esports. I think
Right.
esports is a big and growing thing, especially like a lot of my friends. If they had video games in schools, that was really into curriculum. I think that'd be super helpful, and it's all related to competency-based education as well. So yeah, anything that helps build competencies, I'm all for.
Yeah, well said. You'll be showcasing at the Canadian EdTech AI Summit, 16th year. How many of you attended?
I
Trying to think.
I think three
Five.
already, and this will be the fourth. So next year will be my
Okay.
5-year anniversary.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to partnering with you and you leveraging your tools to provide insight and inspiration around the summit. Can you give us a sneak peek of what education and school leaders can expect from your participation in your session?
Yeah, for sure. In terms of a partnership lens, we are definitely focused on being able to help collect richer and deeper data. I think the time for regular surveys is over. When you have AI that can do voice-to-voice conversations in real time, I don't think you need people to write down. It makes it more accessible. makes it a lot easier as well. Also, just having one question, one and done, I think that concept needs to be changed and shifted. We need to focus more on actually personalizing everything because AI has the ability to do it in a scalable way. In terms of session, I'm excited to be a judge for the Startup Challenge. I checked out the EdTech, the MindShare EdTech Summit, and saw that I'm a participating judge. And yeah,
Yes.
happy to chat more about a session that we possibly do on competency-based education or any way that we can help out.
Well, fantastic. And let's talk about trends that you're seeing in K-12 education right now with that EdTech startups like factors should be paying close attention to, because it is quite a moving target. Sadly, some EdTechs haven't thrived and don't exist any longer. And M&A is, mergers and acquisitions, for those who don't know that acronym, is gaining momentum. But it's really about paying close attention to where the market is and where it's going, because as Wayne Gretzky, and I have one of his slogans here, used to talk about, not only missing 100% of the shots you don't take, which is taking risks, calculated risks, but also going where the puck's going, not where it's been, right? Is a great, I think that's one of the most brilliant analogies that sports analogies that is probably top 10 used.
100%. Especially like in this market, I feel like you need to have a deep vertical niche that you're focused on. Otherwise, there'll be a lot like Google or Gemini or Microsoft will start to develop like small tools that are really generalized. So I feel like the ed tech market is going to become more and more specialized for the successful ed techs, at least. And we'll see, we're already seeing a lot of saturation. I think ed techs, if they're looking in terms of like funding avenues, unfortunately, a lot of it is like moving, in the US at least, is moving away from equity, inclusion, diversity because of the administration, and it's more focused on developing AI efficiency and productivity. So that's just some of the trends I've been seeing. I know NSF has been, the National Science Foundation has been pushing that, and the fields are opportunities. It's really focused on STEM, hands-on learning, project-based learning, experiential learning, and AI as a foundation of it all.
Fascinating insights. Let's talk about the Canadian market for a moment. Is this our time for Canadian edtechs, given the refocusing of our provinces on education? Is it our time to start thinking about interprovincial collaboration as we have with other sectors? I'm shocked that no one's talking about education and the potential benefit of collaborating interprovincially. I can now buy a bottle of wine from BC, or get some beer from down east, but that I couldn't get before. But what about education? Is this a missed opportunity to leverage economies of scale and AI? We could easily have one common curriculum whipped off in no time nationally. What are your thoughts? Have you and definitely for edtechs, because there is a requirement to do business with Canadian companies first. So I think that's a huge advantage. Thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. I think I love kind of the notion of school districts looking to adopt more Canadian tools. There are a lot of successful Canadian edtechs as well. They may not always start off here and then find their way back in Canada, but I feel like that is a notion that is kind of more common as well. I think in terms of having like a national policy around AI usage is definitely needed. I know the Canadian government has been trying to fund a lot into AI compute and access. They opened a whole compute access fund. And just in general, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, we all have kind of the leading AI hubs. And Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, is from Toronto. Bengio is from Canada as well. So a lot of the AI leaders, we have them here. It's just about setting it up in a way that everyone can work together and focus on one common goal, and just organizing that. So I'm hoping that that can happen and that we can have some movement in that area as well.
Well, we're working on a national initiative with C21, so stay tuned for more on that. Never been a more exciting time to be in education. Um, Finally, what's your advice that you would give to aspiring edtech entrepreneurs who are just getting started or thinking of pitching at this year's? We're going to have an incredible lineup of pitchers at the summit, at the Dragons Den Challenge, but human connection. Let's talk about relationships as we're wrapping up and offering advice, because you are a master at a young age. We won't reveal your age. We all look a lot younger than we are. But, this is we're celebrating 25 years of MindShare Learning Media this year, hashtag honored. And it's about paying attention to the market, what's happening, and listening, and relationships. What is your philosophy around that as a consummate networker, attending conferences? But not all conferences are created equally. You've discovered more of a niche lately, I've noticed.
Yeah, 100%. So just some advice in terms of conferences: always do like pre-work. So look at who's attending, do some research. If you have an AI web browser, I mean, that would be super helpful as well. But I know everyone doesn't have access to that. As in, especially if you're attending the MindShare Learning Conference, seek out leaders and just have a conversation with them. Like, everyone's open. There's going to be some, not some, everyone there kind of has a unique experience. Like, if you have the chance to talk to like Rami from Logix Academy about like professional development, training, implementation, how he's able to leverage partnerships, that's a great person there. If you're looking to obviously talk to Robert about the Canadian EdTech market, we all know that. That's why we're listening in. If you have the chance to talk to these are just past attendees like Jennifer Ferrari about like ERDI, the Canadian US EdTech Accelerator Program, and those are great opportunity there. Obviously, Peter Singh from TDSB is always there as well. Being able to gather some quick insights from him is always helpful as well. Jen Wambua, she's able to attend, learning more about like FETC. And
she will be there.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so learning more about FETC, and then like how she, just like watching, I guess, like kind of how she builds connections with people as well. It's super inspiring because she always makes everyone feel like they're family in a sense as well. Yeah, those are just like a few names. There's so many other people that will be there. If if you want to talk to me, I'll be there as well. Maybe I can share some insights as well. But there's always a lot going on, and with every conversation, we'll definitely learn something.
Fantastic, great advice. You've been a master at the human connection and building relationships, and that's over and over we hear that it's not transactional. In some cases it may be, but those who garner the strongest relationships will do well. It's not always necessarily the best product that wins. It's how people are connected and proving their value beyond just the transaction. So, Aman, thank you for joining us today and for all your incredible work and the team factors are doing to support well-being and success of Canadian students and beyond in the U.S. I know you spend a lot of time in the U.S. We're excited to see you at the Canadian EdTech AI Summit at UTM, your old stomping grounds. It's going to be a powerful few days of learning, innovation, and connection. Final thoughts to share?
Excited to attend the conference, excited to partner, and just everyone feel free to attend. If there's anything I can do to help you out, please let me know. If you have any advice on the MindShare conference, pitching, feel free to reach out. I'm on LinkedIn, and just feel free to drop me a message. But grateful for all the work you do, Robert, and grateful for the Canadian landscape as well, moving forward in EdTech and AI.
My pleasure. And before we wrap up, we are going to be giving away 2 VIP passes to someone who tags and reshares us on LinkedIn. So be sure to do that. To our listeners, be sure to visit mindsharelearning.ca for all your latest updates on the summit and to register for this transformational event. My name is Robert Martellacci in the MindShare Learning Report. And until next time, keep the learning curve steep.